It looks like we're live, so I think it should be good. Just check the Facebook community. And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to Scaling Lean's Weekly Live here inside of our Facebook group. If you're catching us on Instagram or YouTube or whatever other platform you're catching us on, say hi, tell us where you're tuning in from. My name is Nina Brennan, and I'm joined by my co-founder, Jonathan Florensky, and we are the owners, co-founders of Scaling Lean. And we have a cool topic for you guys today, as we do every week at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We're going to be talking about our 4 weeks to profit playbook. And this is how to create, launch, and monetize an info product or an online course in just 28 days. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to JP, do your thing, and then we'll hop right into the content.
Yeah, absolutely. So, any new members to this group, we just launched a new 4 weeks to profit cohort group on School. So, if you haven't gotten into that yet, comment launch below here. We'll send you over an invite. We've had amazing response so far. 62 members need in what, 72 hours or something, which is absolutely amazing. We have some folks signing up for the cohort that's coming up on August 18th. And reach out if you want information on that as well. We'll be happy to have a conversation. If you're looking to monetize your expertise with an info product, we're going to unlock and show you the exact process that we've used with over 250 clients on this live today. So we're going to go pretty deep, but not super deep, right? Because literally we can go hours with just one of these topics. But yeah, let's hop in, Nina, and start to showcase what that looks like.
Yeah, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what stemmed this pivot. I wouldn't even say pivot, but this like new launch to help newer creators and or business owners who are kind of stuck in that like 5 to 10K grind. They can't really hit those marks of why we're doing what we're doing. So let's tell a little bit of the backstory. Then I want to talk about a little bit of the strategy, JP, and then exactly what we're going to be doing on August 18th through 21st with the cohort members who have already joined and are still looking to join. So if you guys are anything like me back in 2020, and this is going to be just my story, and then JP, I highly encourage that you tell your story after and how we conceptualize scaling lean in 2022. But if you're anything like me back in 2020, you're probably tired of watching other people build these 6 and 7 figure businesses online. And you're looking at them and they're like, oh, they came from nothing. They're not qualified. They don't have the background or the expertise or the passion or whatever it is that you have, that I had. I was in New York City at the time, and there was no way that I could see myself retiring with the current trajectory that I was on. And what happened was when the world shut down in 2020, I had a lot of time, space, and bandwidth to just learn and do and kind of just show up for myself in a way that I never was able to show up before. So I started creating content on social media, and I started to dream bigger than what I was always conditioned to think, right? So I graduated in 2018. I was on the trajectory to do the whole New York City thing of going from Staten Island to the city to be this like person that works in an office 9 to 5 and then retire at 65, right? But what happened in 2020, I started to dream bigger than I ever thought possible. And I wanted a business that I could work location freedom, time freedom, and of course, building a business, I wanted financial freedom, right? So what happened was I just started going for it. And I did everything wrong in 2019 and 2020 when I started posting online. Like I was building a personal brand, but I was making it way too personal. And it was more so of just like when I did start making offers online and saying, oh, I have a business, I was doing this boom and bust cycle. So I was landing some clients online. I was exchanging my time for money because it's all I knew how to do at the time. And it was like a boom of like, okay, I would land like 3 to 5 clients, and then I would be like wiped out in time and I wouldn't be able to market my own content or expertise or whatever it was online, right? So the next month would come and then I didn't land any clients because I wasn't focusing on the content. Or if I was focusing on the content, the clients would like, there was just so much work to be done. So I went from New York City, working, doing what I was doing, to creating content, the boom and bust cycle. And then I discovered info products. And when I first thought about like, oh, I really want to like start an info product business, but I don't, there's that imposter syndrome of like, I don't know enough to do this, right? And I also was terrified to get on camera, believe it or not, back in the day. Like, it was one of those biggest pain thresholds of like, my confidence was not there to just ramble on into a microphone like I'm doing now with a camera standing in front of me. But what happened was when I finally got over my fear and I started promoting my first launch, in just 12 months, we hit $650,000 selling an info product supplemented with coaching and community. And to this day, I still think that this is the best business model out there that anyone can launch. Whether you're somebody who is brand new, you just have a passion, skill, or expertise, or you're somebody who like me back in 2020, 2021, when I was finally landing clients and we were stuck in this like boom and bust cycle of I would land one on one, I was exchanging my time for money, I was looking to pull on other team members, but then it just wasn't the business that I really dreamed about of having that time, location, and financial freedom. So, JP, that's my story. Let's tell a little bit about your story because you have a really awesome background too of what made you get into digital products and info products and coaching in the first place. And then we'll go from there.
Man, yeah, that's an awesome story, Nina. Mine was a little bit of a crazy one. I'm a bit older than you, right? So we kind of have a little bit of a different perspective and journey, right? Which is amazing and what helps us build our brands online. So for me, it was a bit of a roller coaster. I worked for a corporation for 15 years, and man, I was having a great time as far as like on the outside, like I was able to go and make 150 grand a year. I, did the whole American dream. I bought the house. And looking back, I had really amazing times where I had really amazing physical attributions in my life. I had amazing professional attributions. What I mean by that is I was able to become a semi-pro cyclist, and I was able to go and be in the top 250 people in the world for the corporation I worked with in a certain category. But it was like a rocky road, and I didn't have the best relationship at the time, and what wound up happening is I just wound up getting broken down over the years. And then I had this brilliant idea of just like, why don't I just start my own business, right? And some of you might be able to relate with this from like the early 2020s when everyone was in the COVID time and they're like, oh, come online and start your own business. So man, I jumped in and I spent tens of thousands of dollars on information product myself and mentorship. And I was making good money at the time, so I could do that. And unfortunately, what happened to me is the methods I was learning was, go out and post on every single social media platform. And I was blogging and YouTubing and pretty much doing all the things that I didn't get any results from it though. Like I was just spread so thin and I didn't understand what really happened, what got me the initial momentum. And that's when I met this crazy guy on TikTok named Eric Forner. He's probably watching this video right now, and that's where you and I came together, Nina, and you really opened my eyes up to uh, the sell before you create model, right?
Hmm.
And really, that was the real amazing catalyst for growth for me because I was putting in all the work. I had the understanding of what it took to follow up with people through all my corporate background and build relationships with clients and teammates and all this stuff. Like it was an amazing journey that I learned. I just didn't understand what it took to create a product or even come up with an idea, sell that idea, and then collect money and then get feedback and then iterate, right? So shout out
Hmm.
to you because you were really the catalyst for that initial growth. And once I learned that little Horcrux, where I uncovered that, like in Harry Potter, where he found that Horcrux, like it really just unlocked amazing results quickly. I was able to, sell four people into my program and $2,500 in what, 24 hours or something. It was insane. And then things just started steamrolling from there. But what's kind of crazy about both of our stories is we were in that TikTok boom and we kind of got a little spoiled with the content side where we were able to put, a couple videos out a day. And we were able to get a lot of momentum. We had inbound leads. We were doing lots of DMs, but we didn't really have a ton of leverage. And what I mean by that is like we didn't have, nurturing campaigns. We didn't have ad strategies that would automatically bring awareness and people into our ecosystem and like want to learn more about what we did, right? So we wound up having that big growth, but then it kind of burned us out, and it was like, what the heck's going on? And we had amazing results for our clients, and then we went on this journey to learn the paid ad strategies. And the through line through all of this is really what you said, Nina, is the coaching, the community, and having a leveraged info product like a course to really help your folks get from point A to point B and also validate the entire process. And we can do that in really like a 3 to 4 week window. So we're really on the journey now to bring more of that back into the circle, right? Because I mean, we've been doing it for a very long time, and now we feel that during this this AI revolution that we're in right now, it's more important than ever. Just kind of like where we were in 2020 and 2021 with the TikTok boom. Like now more than ever, people want to learn, and you can bring your expertise online and really impact the world very quickly and effectively, and also create an awesome freedom lifestyle for yourself in a very little time where you're not tied down to the corporate burn like I was. Now we get to, spend time locally here with entrepreneurs and go to live events and travel and all these amazing things that spend time with family. Like I didn't really have a lot of that, right? I was just in this like grind mode, 9 to 5, commute 2 hours a day, 60-hour work weeks, and just like pay the bills and keep repeating over and over again. And we don't want that for everyone. And if you don't want that for yourself, this framework right here that we're going to show right now will help you get out of that.
Yeah. The reason that we call it the 4 weeks of profit, and I just want to back up, JP, awesome story. And I really love when we connected back in, I think it was early 2022, before we became business partners. The reason that we are business partners is because JP's just a solid beast. It's like he swam upstream and it was just a matter of like, it makes sense to work together, right? And like we ended up working together, we ended up partnering up, and now we are here at Scaling Lean. And we've helped over 250 business owners do this process that we're sharing today of like the launch, the create, the launch, and the monetize. But I really want to break down the strategy of how we actually get there because a lot of people they discombobulate the 4 phases that it actually takes to like really grow an online info product business or a coaching business or a mentorship business or a course business, whatever it is that you want to call it. Any scaled coaching business and or info product has the core pillars of 3 that we spoke about, which is community, course, and coaching, right? And the way to do it in 2025 specifically, especially as the market has shifted, is number one, there's the launch phase. So this is like your 0 to 10K phase. And a lot of people they focus on like the grow or the systematize or the scale phase when really they're still stuck in they haven't even made this like 10K month yet or they haven't even crossed over that first 6 figures. And the launch phase is specifically what you said before, JP, of the sell before you create and then the create based on the validation. So this is what I really want to talk about today because this is what our cohort is going to be from the 18th to the 21st here in August. It's going to be really to solidify your foundations for the launch phase so you can grow, so you can systematize, and so you can scale, right? So this is your first 10K month sprint. So what you're doing here is you're showing up, you have a niche idea, and a lot of people get stuck in the niche. Just pick one thing and go for it, right? You can make money doing anything from a passion, a skill, or an expertise. It doesn't have to be just B2B. You can literally make money as a basketball coach teaching people basketball. We know somebody who's doing like $66,000 a month teaching pickleball. So it doesn't have to be just like business to business in order to build a business. It could be a passion and you build something behind it, right? So pick your niche, get finite on your niche. And we just went through this with one of our clients who's a fitness coach, right? So now we narrow down to she's a fitness coach that helps former athletes, whether pro, because she was pro, and or collegiate, because she was also collegiate, get back to their identity of being an athlete without being so tied to that identity, right? So still being an athlete, still working out, feeling good in your body, and feeling like you're showing up for yourself, even though, you're not told what to do as an athlete anymore. So get finite on your niche, start testing it through your content. So this is when you get to own who you are as a business owner, a course creator, an info product developer, right? Share it on social media. You can sacrifice one of your social media platforms, and this is where a lot of people get stuck is they're scared to quote unquote sacrifice their social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok, whatever it is. Just say exactly to who you're already followed by, hey, my name is Nina Brennan, and I'm going to be helping people like you with passion, skills, and expertise create a course on social media. Well, here's my social proof. We've helped people generate 6 and 7 figures online. We've helped over 250 clients. We've generated millions of dollars for ourselves. That's our quote unquote stake. So if you're perfect example for you, JP, you were a cyclist, you went semi-pro, you can start a community around pro cyclists, someone who wants to go from amateur to semi-pro, right? It could be as simple as that. The next step is start having conversations. So people are going to be looking at your content, they're going to be commenting on your content. Just start the conversation with a simple, hey, saw that you checked out my video about XYZ. Were you interested in XYZ? Great. If they are, There's two ways to go about it here. It's either get them on a phone and start learning sales, or number two, get them into a community and start nurturing them with more assets like live videos like we're doing now, maybe a lead magnet, maybe a free course. Free courses, there's a lot of FaceTime in front of them. So it really works to get that trust, that authority, that no like and trust there, right? So that's really the only few phases that you should be focusing on if you're under that 10K per month mark. But once you start making the offer, and this is the phase that you were talking about, JP, before, where it's like you came in, you were all over, you were blogging, you were on social media, you were on TikTok, and this and this and this. Great. Now that you have traction, you have conversations, now you can make an offer. And the offer could simply be a 4 week program. It doesn't have to be fully built out. And this is how you build a highly lucrative info product or course. Sell 4 to 6 people into a micro dosed like chunk of what you're trying to put together. So for example, we're doing this live right now because we want to show it in real time, like how it works. Is we're doing a 4 day cohort to create, launch, and monetize in just 28 days. And the reason that we're doing that is because our whole product and our whole backend product is about launching a course and info product online. So we're taking pieces of our program and we're getting quick results so people can see the bigger dream. And that's really as simple as it is to go from that 0 to 10K per month mark. Um, Sorry, JP, I just went on a rant there. So I'm going to pass it over to you and you can fill in the gaps of whatever I missed or add on some wisdom of what you have.
Yeah, absolutely. The big thing that comes to my mind, Nina, is your goal during this initial phase. And I fought this initially, like tooth and nail. Like I was like, this isn't going to work. But the last thing you want to do, and we're brainwashed. America has brainwashed us to just create things. We don't want to create anything. What we want to do is create an idea and then focus on having those conversations and getting feedback on our idea. Don't even think about selling anything yet, right? So that's what I did in that initial 30 days in order to have that great success in 24 hours is I went out to the market with my idea and then I said, hey, like, what do you think about this? Let's hop on a 30-minute call. Maybe I can help you with this thing real quick, give you some value and get that feedback, right? Which helped me craft that initial offer, 4 week transformation, and then get that immediate result, right? So that's something that's going to be fighting against you because it fought against me. It fights against a lot of pretty much all the clients we work with, Nina, right? They just want to put their head down oftentimes and just start creating all these assets, right? But they have no idea if they're actually going to turn into paid clients, right? So what we do is the opposite. And I'm not saying don't create anything. Like it is important to start creating something that is a fundamental skill, right? Like for instance, creating how to create a TikTok account and make like your profile, right? Like that's a basic fundamental skill that you can't really go wrong with, which is a value asset that you can push forward to someone. You could probably do that in less than 5 to 10 minutes, right? So I'm not saying don't create absolutely anything, but don't go on the journey of taking 3 to 4 months to create these elaborate 50 module courses and waste time doing that instead of selling and getting feedback from your people, right?
Hmm.
Bought that for over a year. And it was really challenging initially to like shift out of that American brainwash system that we're trained to just, work, work, work and not go into more of like the empower and get feedback, right?
Yeah. And that was exactly what happened in 2019 to 2020 before I found like profitability, I guess you can say online. Was because of this, I see that there was a question, was it anxiety or fear? There was a little bit of both. Like I wanted to create a course. I knew that a course was going to be the way to freedom to not exchange my time for money, but I felt like I had to have the perfect product before going to launch it to market. And because of that fear of getting on camera and being able to speak on camera and feeling presentable, there was just like that hiccup of like, okay, then I was scared to create the content because it was a spiral effect of like, I don't have the perfect product, which means I don't have like the credibility, which means I don't have like, I shouldn't be selling it. But then when I learned about the 4 hour work week and Tim Ferriss and the model of sell before you create, it was like, boom, I have demand because every time I put out a video on TikTok, there was traction. So why would I not just make a micro offer, exchange a little bit of time for money in order to learn the feedback that needed to be this like now scaled info product that we were building over time. And once I shifted that mindset from sell before you create, instead of doing this like $5,000 or $6,000 or even $2,000 product at first, we launched a $97 product for a cohort. And what happened was is we had so much demand come through and there were like 50 plus signups. And then when people were inside of the cohort, there was a lot of energy because of like it was low ticket, people were hungry for it. Great. We got results for a very like this is how we built the trust because somebody paid us $97 and they made $9,000 in just 2 weeks. So much trust, not only from the person who made the money, but the people who were also inside of the cohort. They were like, holy crap, this actually works. And then we built our back end product off of this $97 cohort. So we quote unquote took a financial hit in this first month, but it set us on the trajectory to make before even finishing the product of the like course $171,000 and then within the first 12 months $650,000 just from organic traffic coming in. So that's the power of like, sell before you create, prove the product, use what JP was saying is that feedback to build the product, and then over time you can lean it out. You can make it really, people are paying for that transformation, right? So it's like take out whatever doesn't really need to be necessary. Then you have a lock and bolt MVP, minimal viable product, and then all you have to do is show up to be accountability coaching because you could send them to the course. So now it's like they have a proven roadmap because you use the feedback to build it. And now they're coming to you for what they need to do next, the accountability in order to get it done, and to celebrate their results because a lot of people are driven by community and driven by, I guess, like pats on the back, right? And that's why to this day, again, this business model, as long as you nail it with the sell before you create, you build that MVP, you keep it lean, that's how you're going to scale without having to exchange your time for money, without having to build a huge team in order to get the results of 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 months.
Absolutely. And if you go on our social medias, like we don't have huge followings, like 5,000 followers. Even this community is only not even 3,000 people. We've generated over seven figures online, right? So again, avoid the shiny objects of all these tools that you need and even AI. Like we're built big on AI and it helps us speed up this process that we just talked to you about. But don't get in the habit of going and just searching endlessly for the golden tool because that's keeping you in comfort. And the resistance is actually going out, having those conversations, moving folks from your content into your community, providing them value on a weekly basis, right? You don't have to go crazy and post in your group every single day, but post once a day, have those conversations, move people into your community, and then start that feedback process of getting feedback on your offer and then make an offer, right? Because what's going to get you into momentum and get your business into success is selling people into that initial cohort or that initial offer, depending on where you are and how much of an expert you are, right? So, absolutely, Nina, I absolutely resonate with that. You can do it with a free Facebook group. We like school the best because it's more leveraged. And reason being is you can put a course inside it, you can have a calendar inside it, you can have different categories inside of the group and loads of other reasons. Honestly, we fully stand behind Sam Ovens and Alex Ramosi, and we know that they're going to be growing this movement for years and decades to come, right? So that's one of the reasons why we pick school in particular. We do have this free group, but we're probably moving more efforts in the future onto the school platform in particular.
Yeah. School is like if you think about Thinkific and or Go High Level courses mixed with Facebook communities, it really has everything you need in order to communicate with your prospects that are coming in and creating posts, going live if you do it through a streaming software. I figured that out. Um, but if anyone is watching this, we have our cohort coming up on the 18th through the 21st. If you're not ready to commit, it's only $27. Come through. It's 4 days. Instead of you doom scrolling for 4 hours, you could spend time with me and JP live. Go into the community. So if you're not ready to give us $27, which I totally understand, great. Come into our free community and see what we have going on because you can replicate the process if you are looking to launch a product online, whether it is the creation phase, the launch phase, or you already have the creation and the launch done and now you're in the monetization phase. We're doing it in real time, showing you guys exactly how to do it, how to build this leveraged info product and course. So I'll drop the community link below or just actually hashtag community so not everybody has access to it. So then we'll send it to you in the DMs. So $27 cohort, the 18th through the 21st. 4 hours live with me and JP. If you get VIP, you'll get to spend some extra hours with us where we can kind of talk and walk you through your personalized offer. If not, not ready to commit, come and join the free community. You'll see in real time what we're doing in order to create, launch, and monetize a product within the first 28 days.
Yeah, with that said, we talked a lot about, that beginner expert coming online and creating that initial momentum. But now let's talk about phases 3 and 4, little Nina, because these phases are really what really we learned the hard way. Literally spent tens of thousands, if not over 100 grand, honestly, trying to master this over the
Mhm.
past couple of years. And that's really gaining that leverage through paid advertising, right?
Yeah.
We've been working on our systems since 2022 with the conversionpro.io software system. And also, we have invested money in ads, testing in ads. We've generated hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million at this point, from ads on the Meta platform in particular. And it doesn't have to be easy, it doesn't have to be hard, right? I feel like initially we really overcomplicated this entire process, right? And we went like ham with like 50 to $100 campaigns when we could have just went with 5, 10, and even 15, $20 a day, right? It doesn't have to be this like all or nothing approach with paid advertising. You can start real low, right? So if you are a person that's got an info product and you're in momentum and you're still stuck just posting and really just forcing manually outreaching only, and like you only have that one source and you're afraid to run paid ads, like this cohort will support you as well, right? Because we're going to show you how to take some proven content that you've already gotten people to buy from and turn that into a monetization engine that can literally run 24/7 and help you fill your community and or get people directly to your offer and convert those folks with a 5-minute video into a paid client and or a group member, right? So
Hmm.
you don't have to be stuck all the time on this content hamster wheel, just posting and manually doing outreach and stuff like that. And that was something that we've literally spent so much time on, and we've invested in so many mentors to master. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up as well. Nina, why don't you put some light to that?
Yeah, for sure. So paid advertising was something that really kept us like it put a chokehold on us back in 2022 when we were first starting to get into it, right? And I remember going through the process. We hired somebody and that was a flunk. And then we hired another person and we spent $18,000 and that was a flunk. And what happened was is like we were like, okay, we got to take it into our own hands. And we actually spent upward of like what, $250 a day with our company just to kind of figure out like what to do. And we were doing it in a way where it was like there was only one way and we had to master this one way. And then we backed it up and we were like, okay, we're getting a return on ad spend and we did fantastic with it. But the people that were coming into our space and time were like, I don't want to spend $50 to $100 a day, which is completely valid, especially if you're a newer creator online. So as we were backing it up, and we're like, okay, let's build these platforms where people don't have to be this content monkey. And it's like if we had to go back to the root of 2020, when we first started creating content online, what would we do as content creators in order to build our following of an engaged audience that will actually buy from us? And that's where we're getting this strategy from. We're back to the root of showing up on social media with one post a day. And JP and I have created the content matrix that has turned 5 pieces of content into probably like 20, 25 pieces of content. You write 5 emails and you can create 25 pieces of content from these emails, right? It's been amazing just like showing up on social media again with this kind of like freshness. It feels so much better than not, you know, we used to do it in such a crazy way. And then we just put simple ad spend behind it. And just in the past, you can see it on my story on Instagram. Just in the past 28 days alone, I've had over 100,000 views on my Instagram with only posting about 12 to 15 times. And the reason that is because when people are coming in, whether it is from organic or paid ads, we have a conversation with them and we move them down the pipeline. Then they're seeing our content, they're coming into our community. So there's a strategy for growth and awareness of like growing the channel and getting people aware about who you are. And then there's a strategy for conversion. And I feel like that's where a lot of people miss is like, okay, first they're scared to get on social media because they're like, this is going to be a long game, which it will always be a long game. Business is not going to be an overnight fix or you want to make $10,000 tomorrow. It's going to be reps and effort and becoming really good at your one thing that you're promoting. And I just want to put that there. Like, we're not teaching an overnight fix for anything. This is a long-term business strategy to pull in six figures or even seven figures a year. So let's just take out that quick fix and instant gratification mindset out. You're going to have to put in the reps for whatever platform you choose, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Now that you are putting in the reps and now you're putting ad spend behind it, this is like that awareness strategy that we're really leaning into. And once you have that awareness and you have product market fit or product message fit, I guess we can say message market fit. It's great. People are resonating with the message. Let's find the product market fit. Let's put a little bit of ad spend and reach out to the cold audience just a little bit more. You'll get the followers. You'll see if they're the right type of followers, and then you'll start building that community. It's a very simple process. JP and I stripped down to the root core of if we were to start a business in 2025, what would we do and how would we do it? And that's what we're bringing to the market because so many people in our community have expressed, I have not been able to get on social media profitably. I have not been able to find an offer that resonates, and I've not been able to monetize. Great. We've done all three. So we're going to show you exactly how to do it, whether your goal is 5K a month, 10K a month, 20K a month, building a team, etc. We've done it all. So join our school community, hashtags community below, and we'll send it over to you.
Yeah, for sure, Nina. The process really is simple, but it's not easy. And the reason I say that is because there's so many freaking shiny objects out there right now that people are having a hard time even committing to something for a week, right? This process takes commitment. It takes 120 days to start seeing traction. In some cases, we've had folks as early as 14 days based on their experience and expertise. But commit for 120 days. If you do that, there's no way that you can fail. If you can just commit and stay focused for 120 days, I can guarantee it. If not, we'll give your money back, like 100%. Like I have no problem doing that. I'm sure you would back me. But really, the mission of Scaling Lean is to help content creators, coaches, consultants, and experts build a predictable revenue stream so they can do more of the things they want, right? Like for Nina and I, it's like camping trips in the mountains, spending time with family. Maybe for you, it's working on cars or going for bike rides or going to the lake with your family, whatever that is. That's what our mission is, right? Get more of the people out of the 9 to 5 grind, out of the corporate grind that America's brainwashed us and told us that we needed, and really empower us to do more of the things that we're put on this earth to do, right?
Yeah.
So that's really our mission and purpose. And man, I absolutely love Scaling Lean, man. And that's had to just come out there at the end, so with that being said, I really don't have anything else. Naeem did put a comment in there about low budget testing with ads. 100% Naeem. You can start with as low as $5 a day. Now we recommend 10 to 20 because you're going to get a little more traction quicker. But by no means do you have to do that. You can even start with $1 a day if you wanted. It's just going to take a little longer for you to see that traction because you're not going to be able to test as quickly, right? So 100%, yeah, well, we can support with that. We'll support with your offer, building that initial MVP community, and really scaling up to that 10, 20, 30, 50, 100K month, whatever you really want inside of your lifestyle.
Yeah. And I just want to drop this here because we have done probably every single business model that you could imagine online, from e-commerce to agency to revenue share model to info products to low ticket digital products. Mid to high ticket info products in forms of course coaching and community is the most lucrative business that you can start in terms of profit margin and in terms of freedom. So every business model works. I will say that. But the best business model out there for us, if you are looking for high profit margins and time freedom, is building something that you can fulfill many people on and get results for many people, because client results is the most important thing that you can get. Just putting that out there, but it's being able to deliver to many and sell consistently and predictably and just getting online. And like once you have an info product built, you have so much time that you could spend other ways learning marketing to just drive people into the ecosystem and buying from you, whether it's low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, etc. And it's like when we built this business, we didn't even know what to do with our free time that we started making things up in order to just continue working because coming from the backgrounds that we are, a New York City born and bred human being, and a corporate worker who was pounding 12-hour days, we were so conditioned to just work for work's sake rather than have and enjoy this freedom of time, freedom of finances, and freedom of location that we were building. So that's when I got my ass to Mexico, right? Like bought a one-way ticket to Mexico. And that's when JP, when we connected, you just like packed all your stuff up from Jersey and moved to Denver where I relocated to. And that was really the start of like the real freedom was like we both grasped onto that idea of we have the time freedom, we have the location freedom, we have the financial freedom. Let's just enjoy it. And that's what info products allow you to do. And if you look at any business owner out there that you probably are looking up to, whether it's Iman Ghazi or Sam Ovens or even Alex Hermosi, over time, what they did, they took their one-on-one services, like Gym Launch, for example, perfect. He productized it and ended up selling it as a product. That's what is being sold. It doesn't have to be B2B. It could be anything from passion to skill to expertise. But the way to gain true freedom is through info products, is through community, and is through coaching on the info products that you're selling. And I will 100% die on that hill.
Absolutely. So with that being said, I feel like this was a great live that to really go over our 3 C's business model, the coaching, community, and course model that we've been using since 2022 in really virtually every niche, right? Finance, crypto, what do we got? Personal development, make money online, finance, real estate, like pretty much all of them, right?
Yeah.
Feel like we went over the process pretty well. If you have any questions about any of the process, whether that's what niche to pick, what community to launch, how to launch ads, whatever that thing is for you that you feel is the biggest resistance, let us know. We have perspective to just share with you at the very base level, and at the higher level, right? We can work together. You can jump into one of our low ticket programs or even our high ticket program, and we can help you absolutely crush this next 90 days, right? So that being
100.
said, I don't have anything else. You can take us on out.
Yeah, so if you haven't joined our free school community yet, drop a hashtag community below. If you are ready to just dive right into the cohort and be an action taker, like all of our successful students are, let us know by hashtag cohort below, and we will send you the link to check out, and then we'll send you over the assets that come with it. Anyone who joins on this live will get the access that we're giving to the what was the first 10 people that came through the door, but we'll give it to you if you're tuning in live. So with that being said, we'll see you guys next week at 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time and hopefully inside of our school community.